金钱看齐，墙上写着秦香莲的32岁了，装个当朝驸马郎的气质王啊，满皇上的回2岁了，装个当朝。金钱看齐，墙上写着秦香莲的32岁了，装个当朝驸马郎的气质王啊，满皇上的回2岁了，装个当朝。
If you feel my love, can you hear my thoughts? Can you feel everything? And if you hear my thoughts, can you feel my soul? Can you see the truth?
Let's start the recording. Alright. Once again, what's up YouTube members? We are out here with another review.
Another review.
Yes, we can actually say it's another review because we actually reviewed something before this. So today we are going to review Spiderman No Way Home. I'm joined today with Saii,
No way. My valuable Uchiha members.
and Nadii, Dr. Banks.
Oh, away?
Okay, that's the most we can get out of him. Alright, so first what we're gonna talk about the movie, a short summary, no spoilers. Then we will talk about character breakdowns, and then we'll get into spoilers, the sweet juice of the spoilers.
Okay.
Spoiler alert. Just by the way, members, don't shoot us if you hear spoilers.
Firstly, me and Saii, we went to IMAX. We watched it on the big screen. Nadii, you also watched it in IMAX.
For sponsoring
Yes.
the video.
Alright, so we all watched it in IMAX. So we got the most best and most pure version of the movie. That's what I like to say. I mean, we watched it in 3D though. I wish it wasn't 3D. Because I even forgot it was 3D because nothing came out the screen.
It's such a waste, huh?
Yeah, no, it
It
was.
is the worst.
Like, I remember the first time me and Nadii watched 3D, we went to watch Beowulf.
Beowulf.
And at least that was kind of cool.
That was scary.
And now everything else is just lame. I just remember Nadii screaming the whole time.
That's so cool, huh? The animation was that was a lit movie.
Yeah, I didn't know it was animated at the time, though.
That was a lit movie.
I thought it was real life.
Yeah, me too. Alright, let's start off with a brief summary from each of us. Nadii, you start. What did you think of the movie as a whole?
So I thought the movie as a whole, I thought it was well put together. You know, like even if it wasn't like an MCU movie, I thought like it could stand alone. It was like a good movie. It paid homage to the other Spider-Mans and even other MCU movies. And I just thought like the way everything like came together, without spoiling too much, I thought it was really cool. And yeah, I like thoroughly enjoyed it. Everyone I watched it with enjoyed it as well. And even at the cinema, like there was a lot of like cheering from the audience and stuff. And yeah, I think it was pretty well received as well. So yeah, I think it's a good movie.
Alright, that's cool. Saii, what did you think of the movie?
Okay. So overall, it was a good movie, like Nadii was saying. It was a very good movie. I watched it with Brad, and the people we enjoyed would also thoroughly watched it. We got some overacting reactions.
They were
towards
screaming.
the movie as well. There were some iconic reactions. And yeah, I just thought it was a very nice movie after a very long time. It was something that was worth watching in the cinema, and not one of those movies where you would just watch it and feel like you lost your money out. It was very nice, especially to see our nostalgic villains back in the movie.
Shout out Willem.
It was very
Willem the Drip.
it was very nice. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I feel that it was satisfied, and the viewers will be satisfied.
Okay, pretty good one. I mean, yeah, I agree with that. Let me do my one.
Alright,
let's do this one more time.
last time.
So I thought it was a good movie. It definitely deserves to be seen in cinemas. So go to the cinema, wear your mask, sanitize your children, wipe your seats, sanitize your popcorn. Yeah, so it's just something you definitely want to see in the cinema, because like I feel like if you don't, then you just missed out on that brilliant opportunity, like to go and see a brilliant but lazy opportunity. Yes. Just like you, if you don't go out to see this movie.
I love this boy, baby.
You can roast the viewer.
I'll cut it out. Cut it out. Shut it off, Otto.
Happy to pay the bills, man.
Okay. So we got all our thoughts. Okay, can I have a rating from each of you for the movie?
Fair enough. I think I'll go with honestly, I'm gonna go with I'd go with the 9, eh?
A 9 out of 10.
Yes.
9 out of 10. Yeah, that was pretty good actually. Okay, Saii, you?
Yeah, I think I would agree with Nadii. I'd give it a solid 9. It was a good movie.
Alright. 9. Interesting. Alright.
Solid 9.
Solid 9. I have to give it a 10, guys. I'm sorry. I have to.
10,
I'm giving
We
it a
have
10.
nothing against you, so I
I'm
have
giving it a
nothing against
10 because I feel like everything they wanted to achieve with this movie was there. There's nothing more they could have added or taken away that they could have, you know? Like, even if you had more scenes that, you know, that are close to our hearts, it like maybe wouldn't hit the same. It would have been too much. They gave it just the right amount to like be satisfied. And it was very like a wholesome, everything that we wanted to see happened. And I enjoyed it. So I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. So that's a 9 from Nadii. That's a 9 from Saii. That's a 10 from me. So definitely a movie to go out and watch. It is time for spoilers. This is just spoiler warning. Saii, warn the people. Nadii, make some background noise.
Right, okay, so members, this is gonna
You want
be
spoilers?
all spoiler discussion from this point of
This
time.
is spoilers. So if you have
And
not
don't
watched the
worry,
movie,
we're
don't.
gonna put a time stamp.
Yeah. Okay. Alright. You guys have been warned. Now we're gonna go with our character breakdowns for each one. Talk about some spoilers and stuff along the way. We start off the movie with our friend Jameson. He's exposing the world that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. What you guys think about Jameson?
It was you. Okay. This is the part I'm really confused, right? So now we're doing spoilers, right? Okay,
Yes.
So in Spider-Man, right? The Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 with Tobey Maguire, Jameson was Jameson there. But now in Tom Holland's one, Jameson is Jameson here.
Yes.
Shouldn't Tom Holland have his own Jameson? Does that?
That's
mean-
what I was telling Brad. I was telling Brad
Yeah,
the same
makes
thing.
sense. But
Like,
maybe
their variants should be the same person.
maybe it's not actually the Jameson we know. Maybe it's a different Jameson. Just like how there's different Peter Parkers. Maybe this is a different
Yeah.
Jameson, but he just looks similar. Cause like maybe they just like that actor so much they just chose him. I mean, we know
But
why
then-
we chose him, but
The other variants would still be able to identify that he's who he is.
they didn't see him though. That's the thing. Maybe if they saw him, they'd be like, "Hey, that's Jameson. Well, why is he bald now?"
That's why I'm saying they should have connected the dots from there. Well, like explains why some of them already knew what I was cutting.
But did you get Jameson's character where he was like, he started off as just this guy in a basement, like doing these web blogs and stuff on YouTube, and like halfway through the movie, he became like successful, and like he got his own team, and he's got like screens behind him and stuff. You guys see that?
I
see that?
heard Jameson was an alien from another planet, and then he just goes around there to trial. They go and conquer other universes. Like,
That's Omni-Man,
Talking
Sai.
about Spider-Man.
That's Omni-Man.
sorry.
Same character, different franchise.
Sorry.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think Nadii noticed. So I don't know if you also noticed. When they first showed
Yeah, I saw
Jameson,
that.
he was there, and like he was wearing like
He had like a
short
green
pants.
screen and all that.
He had like a suit above his waist, and below he had short pants because that's not where the camera is gonna see him, right? Because he had a table,
Obviously.
and he was like in a basement, and like he had his own like camera and stuff,
He had
and a green screen. Yeah, a green screen behind him.
The news behind him.
Yeah, so basically they're trying to say like he started off like just like this YouTuber, like a blogger or like newscaster that's low budget, and then I think halfway through the movie, they brought him back, but he was in the studio. I'm not
I
sure.
think it was probably because of the whole like everything was chaotic like in our real world. They wanted to use the actual set
though.
Nah, I feel like he would though. He'd be like the only person that'll go in the streets.
Like later on to the movie, you saw him more impersonal with whatever was happening. Like
Exactly. So he's so invested. He doesn't care about danger. Like if there was something going on, he'd still be in the studio anyway.
yeah. So it wasn't like he was just hiding. Because when he was given the rights to do whatever, he was like there, like invested.
I feel like it is like a whole mini arc with Jameson where like he got the information that the identity of Spider-Man, and then he broadcasted it out and he became popular off of that, and then they gave him his own show.
Because he was the one that revealed it.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Nadii, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, that could be actually what happened. I didn't know he was like in the basement and stuff before. Did you guys
I mean,
see that?
Yeah, I picked that up.
It was in the trailer. It was in the beginning of the movie.
It was a rush scene.
Yeah,
I think they didn't want to put too much emphasis on it, but
we obviously analyzing it.
like if we picked up on it, we picked up on it.
Yeah, so
The Jameson thing is a bit sketch though, because like didn't Jameson go to that scene where they were all at Happy's house?
he did. Yes.
Yeah.
He was
so-
outside at the bottom, at
Yeah.
the road level. Yeah.
Yeah. So then he saw a thing. He saw what you call it. He saw the lizard man.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Lizard Man wasn't in his universe.
Oh yeah.
It was in Andrew's universe. So he saw Sandman, though. He must have seen Sandman. It's hard to miss Sandman.
must have saw it.
Just like a mist of
He must
the
be
beach everywhere, yeah. But he didn't
Oh,
call.
he obviously knows Tom.
I didn't like the fact that was also very annoying to me. I didn't like the fact that they kept him like sand throughout most of the movie.
We're trying to focus on Jameson. Yeah, we leave him out at the end, like what we did to Liu Kang.
Oh, the other guy, man.
What's his name? That guy
that's
from
all
Mortal
the movie
Kombat, the
is,
main character. What's his name? Yeah, like a generic name, like Paul.
Oh, the
Jared. That guy, yeah.
What's his name though?
What was his name?
Cole.
Cole McGrath, yes.
Yes.
That
Very
man.
generic, very generic.
I even forgot it. How do you remember that, sir?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's-
Anyway, going back to Jameson, we didn't understand him, how he was in so many universes. But I mean, only on
It's cool
two.
to see him though.
It was cool to see him. I feel like they didn't really think it through, which means that this movie was like done like after the last movie. It wasn't like a planned storyline, because then they wouldn't have had Jameson in there in the first place.
I felt they just kept him on because of the culture, bro.
Yeah, it's definitely for the meme
Probably.
card. But to be fair, he's like the only person that can play that character.
Plus his personality, like he just gives it like that, like that very persistent
Yeah.
anchorman.
Yeah, I can't even see him as like Detective Gordon too. I just saw like, hey, it's a guy from Spider-Man.
Oh,
What's he doing in a
yeah.
Justice League movie? Alright, let's move on from Jameson now. Alright, let's just talk about someone else. Let's talk about Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Doctor
Personally, I feel he
Strange.
is very OP, bro.
Doctor Strange is
Who
OP.
wants to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, Saii,
That
go
whole-
first.
I don't know, bro. I felt like that whole fight that they had in the mirror dimension, and all, you just get to see him in like a whole nother range. Like
You never
like,
do much to Saii.
Yeah, he never do much, but like it gives a hint like capabilities of what he can do.
But we've seen him do more things in his movie.
Yeah.
True, very
Guys,
true,
watch
very
What If.
true.
I didn't watch What If yet, no, I didn't know.
But I heard about the whole Strange Supreme and all.
Yeah, where he's like the dark version or something. He's also got the
His
drip.
movie. Wasn't he? It
He
wasn't
does
his
have the
movie.
drip. He does have the drip.
It wasn't his movie.
No, I'm saying like this one. This is the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, but like everything he caused though. Like he's the root of
I
the
was actually
problem.
I was actually surprised that they gave him so much screen time and stuff.
That is true. Like I didn't expect him to be
But
in this movie that
but
much.
let's be real. The whole got defeated by geometry. Anyway.
You mean maths?
Yeah.
You got defeated by maths.
Algebra,
Algebra.
geometry, whatever you call it.
I didn't like Doctor Strange's movie for some reason. I felt like
I
was
like
okay.
it.
he wasn't true to his character. He wasn't wise. He wasn't smart. He didn't think things through. You know, like he wasn't himself. He's like almost like what Doctor Strange would be if he was drunk all the time. Doesn't it seem like that?
He was a bit weird. I mean,
Wait,
like,
we're talking about
Doctor
in his own
Strange in
movie.
general, though.
And I'm talking about in this movie, in Spider-Man movie.
Oh yeah. This was he never like the consequences of like changing the spell multiple times and like yeah, that was
Yeah, like I feel like if he was like normal Doctor Strange, you just be like, okay, I'm stopping the spell now. Think what you want to do, and then we'll start it again.
Yeah.
like
No,
he
but like,
just
you wouldn't have
he
done it in
just
the
did
first
it.
place.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
just
But
did it like
even if he was gonna do it, he'd think of the possibilities, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, this just seemed like a big spell that was gonna change the whole world, and he was like, just like, nah, I'm not gonna do it, Peter, and then Peter was like, oh, okay, no worries then, and then he was like, I guess I could do it. I'm like, what? Why?
You know how I
There's, like, no
know it doesn't make
consequence.
sense with Doctor Strange? Because halfway through his spell, he's like, oh wait, I'm not gonna remember Peter Parker anyway. I'm not gonna remember him either. Let me just change the spell so I remember him too. Like he didn't think about anything. And that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
but then
I don't
does
know,
that not
maybe
give a
it
hint
is.
about the ending? Like what really happened over there?
What
Did he actually make the spell where you wouldn't remember him as well?
I don't think anyone remembers him.
I feel like there's like a twist in it, like maybe put like something where he
Yeah.
if he does do something eventually then everything just comes back to him like his memory like
So maybe like the way to unlock everyone's memories if he kisses Mary Jane again, like a whole
Oh, so it's like a
Disneyland thing, like a thing, yeah. So that will be like what do you call it? Those tipping points in the timeline.
But that would also be kind of stupid though, because like my thing is, I like the fact that because no one remembers him, he had to get his old outfit now. He had to make his new outfit.
I really like that,
He's
yeah.
starting from
Yeah,
scratch.
you're right.
I like that.
I like that part, yeah. So basically, he became like the Peter Parker that we know, the Toby, where
Yes,
he's
yes.
so
he's got a broken
basically got
door.
a reset,
No one knows who he is.
Yeah,
he's got a reset basically.
yeah, that's cool though.
I mean it's nice though, but like if you think about why he traded,
But it's a bit dumb though, cause does he not have like family, like
he has no
aunties
family,
or like cousins or
Oh,
anything? Come on, tell me, doesn't have anything from both sides of his family.
Yeah, true. That is true.
So they basically all forgot who he is. Tell me, no one could take him in besides Aunt May.
Did they forget that he's Spider-Man, or they forgot who he is like completely?
They forgot who Peter Parker himself
Parker is
is.
in
So they
your
know
book.
Spider-Man, but they don't know who is Spider-Man.
Yeah, okay. Ish. Yeah.
But that also doesn't make sense though, because then wouldn't people just remember Spider-Man is Peter Parker, but I don't know who Peter Parker is, but we just know he's Peter Parker. Wouldn't that
yeah,
make
but
more
it's just
sense?
like that first week of the show when he wasn't, no one knew who the show was.
Yeah, you're right. Like before the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. Like how all other people kept their lives like that.
Cool, McGrath. Alright.
And then everyone was just figuring it out.
Okay. Okay, next we are talking about the man,
JB's movie.
the main guy himself. We're talking about Mr. Thomas Holland himself.
Thomas Holland.
Tom Holland, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, the main one.
But he's like the main dish.
Yes, and we're talking about him, and then we get to the spicy bits.
Oh, I'm talking about Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe's the main bits.
Oh, okay, let's talk about Timothy. Who wants to go
Alright.
first?
Sai, what did you think of Tom Holland,
Tom.
Spider-Man,
Tom
Peter
Holland.
Parker?
And as Nathan Drake.
Can't just throw that in there. Just throw cheese into the clock.
Okay, just Spider-Man, just Spider-Man.
Just Spider-Man, Sai.
I'm going first, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is just a personal opinion, but out of the three, I feel like he's probably gonna be third. Like the order is obviously gonna be Toby,
Yeah,
then
okay,
Andrew,
fair
then
enough.
Thomas.
Just be honest, Sai. You're trying to say he's last.
Yeah, so I prefer.
Say he's third. Third is.
I felt like, I don't know, because Toby set the bar too high. Let's be real.
Yeah.
That's true.
Fair enough.
That's
Let's
true.
be real. This was set the bar over high.
Mm-hmm.
And like they're always trying, but like you can see he's trying to. But I feel like he still got like a lot of development to go. But like this movie demonstrated that like he was trying to have things together, but keeps screwing it up. And then ultimately he eventually made like the mature decision in order to reset his life. So
that whole resetting of the life has the potential to become greater, like from
Like
where he is
Spider-Man
now.
PS4.
So now I'm curious to see what they can do with the franchise from here onwards with the whole memory wipeout thing, like because they can just basically redefine him.
Okay.
They're gonna
Can I
kill
ask you
Uncle
a
Ben
question,
again.
Clyde?
Yeah, probably.
So then, what did you think of like Tom Holland as Spider-Man?
Oh,
Personally, I feel he's doing good. He'll
mm-hmm.
get there eventually. He just needs more development.
He's basically like a child growing up into the role.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He's gonna fit it eventually.
All right. Nadi, what about you? What do you
yeah.
think of Spider-Man?
Okay, so I think out of all the Spider-Mans, obviously, I would put Toby number one, and then Andrew I would put second. But for Tom, I think he like Sai said, he has like a lot of ways to grow
Mm-hmm.
as like a Spider-Man. I remember watching the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and I like that first scene they actually had in the first Tom Holland one, where he was like flipping through, like spinning like through the neighborhood, swinging through the neighborhood,
Yeah, I remember
meeting
it.
people,
Mm-hmm.
like being like a friendly neighborhood
Friendly neighborhood
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of cool. And then the rest of the movie was okay. The second movie was also okay. And then like yeah, I thought he did a good job though as Spider-Man, but I don't know. I feel like he still has like a lot of ways to go. But yeah,
okay.
I thought he was good. He was decent.
So is he also third on your list?
He's third on my list. Yes, that's correct.
All right.
And for you?
Makes sense. All right, for me, I have a lot to talk about Tom Holland, and also a lot to talk about Spider-Man. I will tell you, I'll start with Spider-Man. Well, firstly, this whole new universe with Tom Holland, I didn't like it. Like, I liked the first movie. It was a good movie, but it felt like a B movie, you know? It's just like, it's not like top tier Spider-Man. Like, even though it can't be on the same level of Avengers, Infinity War and stuff, obviously. But like, it didn't even seem like it was in the same universe because it was like such a different take on Spider-Man. So basically, my problem with this Spider-Man is instead of Peter Parker getting bit by a spider, he got bit by Tony Stark and he became Iron Man Jr.
Iron Boy.
Yeah, he
Like
became
real life and in the movie.
yeah, so basically he was given everything. He didn't sacrifice anything. He didn't struggle or anything. So in this movie, in the third movie, I felt like this is where he actually grew. Like he actually lost something close to him, and he grew into the role. So like he actually got more responsibility now, whereas in before
This movie was
he
like a
could do
push, like-
anything he wanted. He could go blow up a whole building, and then Tony Stark would just be like, no, I bought that building last week. Don't worry about it. I'll build it again. Don't stress. Don't stress. So like, at least in this one, since Tony is gone and stuff, he kind of has to like take responsibility on his own. So I like that. So obviously he'll be third on my list as well, because Toby is just a king, and I liked Andrew's performance, but obviously the people that wrote his script wasn't the greatest. Like
He gets too much hate generated from nothing.
his universe is nice, but I feel like they couldn't make a proper story with him in it. Like maybe if they give it to better writers or something, give it to the people from Cobra Kai.
Yay!
I remember as Spider-Man was very nice, like in general. Like he was a good Spider-Man.
He was a good Spider-Man in a bad movie.
I
Yeah.
actually think in this Spider-Man, Andrew played such a good role. There were like some scenes where I was like, yo, I'm finding it hard. Who's gonna be number one? Is it Toby? Is it Andrew? It was like I genuinely liked Andrew this time around, and I thought
He was the most like excited and bubbly out of all the Spider-Mans.
yeah, but he also like you could see he like genuinely like he wanted to reprise the role, and he was just like excited to be there. And,
Yeah, he was very believable. You felt like
he was very believable.
when he came on screen, it was him like sighing, saying, "I'm here now. I made it back."
Yeah.
And that's why everyone liked that moment so much. Let's say like when Toby came into the movie, he's just like, "Hey guys, I'm back."
Yeah, but people are obviously more excited than
Yeah,
Toby was
because
for me.
it's Toby. Like it's like finding a ghost, like after something you never seen after so long.
Yeah.
You're just seeing him. Anyway, we're talking about Spider-Man now, the main Spider-Man. We'll get to those guys.
Tom.
Talking about Tom. Yeah, so that's my opinion on him. I like him, but I felt like his movies, like they never unlock his full potential. Maybe now that everyone's rebooted and everyone forgot him, they'll make a new trilogy where we actually get behind him. That's what I'm hoping to
Can I
see.
ask you a question there? Let me ask
Yes.
you a question.
Yes.
Would you rather see a new like from what you saw about the three Spider-Mans in this movie? Would you rather see a new movie with Tom, a new movie with Andrew, or a new movie with Toby? Now take the age and stuff into consideration again.
I would say I'd want to see a new movie with Andrew because he's like in between. He's like the perfect. He's not too old, but he's not too young.
Yes.
We've got the experience with him, but we never unlock his potential.
Yeah.
So like we
I would
like
to do
him,
that as well.
but yeah, I think he's perfect. He's like in between
Plus, with the way
sweetness.
things are set in his universe, like with the whole red death and stuff, it'll be nice to see how he comes back from that. Like,
I just want to see him in that black suit, you know, where he loses his mind. Like he just killed Gwen. He's angry. He's punching people. He's asking people if their husband made that for
you
them.
want to see Venom back again. You want to see Venom again, okay?
Yeah, Venom will be cool. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
But it needs to be played by a proper actor.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
Indian guy who plays Flash.
That Indian guy who plays Flash. what
Not
hell
the
is that?
same universe, Nadii. Talking about Andrew's
that's the same
universe.
Oh, sorry. Like, okay, wait, let me ask you guys this. Would you guys be keen to see, like, let's say, they get one of those dark storylines from the Spider-Man comics, you know, where Spider-Man does, like, off stuff, and then they make it, like, 18, right? Like how Old Man Logan was, the movie. And then they get Tobey Maguire, like a matured age Spider-Man, to, like, play in that universe, and he's, like, going through, like, dark stuff.
Ooh, that'd be cool. So basically Logan, but Spider-Man.
Toby.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tony was the one that could. He's like the only footy person that can probably play that role.
That'd be epic, actually. You know what else?
Experience.
What else I'd like to see? If it's R-rated, I want Deadpool there. I don't care if it doesn't make sense.
cool.
I want to see Deadpool. Deadpool and Spider-Man share the screen.
That'll just be a cameo scene. I don't see that going any further than that, though.
But they did have their own storylines in the comic where it was Spider-Man and Deadpool.
Their comics do intertwine, but I don't think they would continue it like that. Maybe.
But think of it, Saii, it'll be the best way to introduce the X-Men back into the MCU.
Which they are trying to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do that actually.
So if they bring Deadpool, someone that everyone loves, and
Link.
Spider-Man, which is like the poster boy for Marvel,
Other guy
it'd be
everyone
perfect. Especially if it's R-rated, like Nadii said.
It'd be brilliant but lazy.
As long as Rosie loves it, then it's fine.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. Like I've
The
been
only
thinking
thing
about
Rosie
that for a while.
loves is glass.
A crossover.
That would- yeah.
But I don't know if Toby wants to play Spider-Man anymore. It's been like really long now.
He didn't seem too keen, eh?
I mean, I would want him back, but like I know he should do it. He's past his prime now.
Yeah, he dresses like a youth pastor.
Yeah.
Man, was it cool to see him on this?
It was cool to see him on the screen, but it was very sad to see how old he's gone though.
Let's be real. When this saw check Andrew, you worked into that Spider-Man offset actually.
Yeah, I remember that.
You were literally walked in there.
It was a cool moment to see all three of them on the screen though, I must say.
It was cool. Yeah. Who's the next character we got, Breads? Or you have more to say about Tom?
Yeah, so I think that's it for Tom. Let's go on to another character that I didn't really care about. MJ, the fake MJ. The MJ from Shake It Up on the Disney Channel. Yeah.
Man, I feel Zendaya, like she's like in a lot of movies nowadays.
She is in a lot of movies, isn't she?
She is.
Yeah, she's in like a lot
She's
of
taking
movies.
a spotlight in a lot of movies.
Yeah, she become like the female rock.
Ooh, it's about drive and power.
Okay, what do you guys have to say? I'll start with Nadii this time.
I think they gave her a lot of screen time in this movie, and I get they wanted to show it for like character development and stuff for Tom. So I actually thought MJ was gonna die.
Oh.
And like that was what I thought. So that's why I thought like you know, Tom and MJ, they showed them in
That
the
would have had a
beginning
very
swinging
dark twist
around.
there, bro.
That would have been.
That would have
That's why I
been.
thought she was gonna die. That's why I thought, okay, maybe that's why they're building this relationship so much.
Yeah,
Tom and
yeah.
her. Why they emphasizing it so much? Maybe she's gonna die or something. And then like, yeah, man, like it didn't like really lead to much. Like with Tom
Really?
in terms of character like development. Except for like the last scene, you know, when everyone forgets him and then he's there and then he decides, no, I'm gonna do the mature thing. I'm not gonna introduce myself to her again.
They like
You know,
built a
like,
whole character just for that one moment, basically.
Yeah, like MJ and Ned. I'll include like Ned in this as well because like they were like the sidekicks, and I thought they were like really like really like flat to me. Because like even like their jokes and stuff, like that one joke where it was Tom, Ned, and MJ, and then they were there and they were talking to Dr. Ock, and then they were like, oh no,
yeah.
what's your name? Oh, it's Dr. Octavius. It's like, then they just laughed. It's like, is that your real name? I didn't really get that part. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that also does make sense. You have a universe where you got people like Ant-Man. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like for me, like also with Tom, like most of his humor, he's trying to do like the Robert Downey Jr. thing. You know, like what Robert Downey Jr. thinks, like he talks fast and
Yeah.
says quirky things. Like I see, like Tom tries to like include that in his set, and yeah, I don't know. Like for me, like yeah, when like the three of them are together, I just don't find it like.
Alright, I'm gonna just throw Ned under the bus here. I'm gonna include him under MJ. So what do you think about Ned?
Similar thoughts.
As
like
one
I-
of the best friends, he's like one of the lower best friends.
Come on, guys. He has a cape now. He's like Doctor Strange. Dr. Ned.
We all prefer James Franco instead of Fidel.
But they don't add much to the story, the overall story.
Yeah, you're right. They don't. They're just like background characters that somehow ends up in front of the camera.
Well, they introduced the legends themselves, but other than that, nothing really noteworthy.
That's true.
That's how bad it is. They had to like hit us with that emotion just to care about them. Like all of a sudden, Ned can just wave his finger around. Now he's Harry Potter.
Yeah, it was very strange. But yeah, what did you think, Sai?
Doctor Strange?
We saw on Ned. I thought we saw this
Ned
so
and, yeah,
Uh,
the whole
okay,
combination
so and like obviously, as you were saying earlier, with the whole MJ thing, we felt the relationship was being built up and all. I just kept, I don't know. I like obviously now I'm a big fan of the original one, so I was just comparing her to Kirsten there.
package. Yeah.
But I felt that relationship was much more better, and
More
she
fleshed
just
out.
obviously made a better MJ in total. Well, that's maybe because I'm biased because I grew up watching that. So when they introduced her, I wasn't so hyped as to. I feel like her vibe is just off from the other one. It's like a completely different person. Kirsten just like had a whole nother vibe to her. And like with Ned, in terms of the whole best friend catalog, obviously James Franco takes the vote
Yeah,
to me. He
come
was like
on,
the
dude.
ultimate best friend. Like when
Can't
you get a
compare
relationship
Ned
where-
to Harry. Sorry, we're talking about Ned. Just Ned compared to
but I mean,
himself.
they fall under the
Ned
best
is the
friend of
hobgoblin.
Spider-Man. They fall under the best friend category of Spider-Man. Come on, I say. Yeah, but as a character himself is, I felt there wasn't any significance. They even the like the reference to the torture machine, and that was supposed to be a funny scene. That wasn't so funny.
Yeah,
What
that
was the
wasn't
point of
funny. Maybe it's for the children. Sorry. The children like torturing people.
that? Yeah, I don't know, bro. That
Maybe we
was
don't
just
get
it was just overkill.
Maybe. Yeah, they did kind of like force them into the movie.
Like, cause like, okay, see, the movie is not gonna have no cringe. There was cringe in the movie. I'm not even joking.
There was cringe mostly because of them though.
Yeah, that's generated by them. But like, those are definitely one of the more cringier scenes. Like, you were confused as to what was happening.
You know what I didn't understand was like
What's that?
they wanted to focus so much on Ned and MJ that Spider-Man duct taped his phone to his chest with the camera with their faces on it. And then I'm like, okay, Spider-Man, but don't you have like these lenses that have cameras in them that they can just look through?
He's like, yeah, right. Here's one of the most high-tech suits that Tony Stark ever designed, but we'll design on WhatsApp or Discord to check how you all see what I
I don't
see.
understand what was that. They just wanted their faces on his body or something.
Yeah, I didn't understand that as well.
That
The
doesn't
whole
make
list you
sense.
had Edith, which was like one of the best AI,
Mm-hmm.
and you're telling me this had to rely on
Ducty.
What's that?
Microsoft Teams over there.
What's a video?
They were controlling
Yeah.
him from afar. Saii.
Yeah, but like honestly,
No.
what were they like doing in that fight with Electro? Because when that fight, as soon as that fight started, I clearly remember Spider-Man saying, "Guys, you're not helping. Can you like quiet down?"
They were like, go left, go right. How do you do
Yeah,
this
like
without vomiting something?
Vomiting, yeah.
yeah, like also like the dialogue, like just in general, I feel like for most of the actors, like it was. I wouldn't say it was weak, but it was like it was strange choice.
I feel
Like
it was too forced.
it was very forced. Like that scene where Doctor Strange was talking to them, and then he was saying, "No, like we need to Scooby Doo this crap." And Zendaya says, "Hey, I know a magic word. It starts with please." I was like, "Okay."
Like, oh, all right, Zendaya, it's not Disney Channel anymore. You know what I think happened, guys? Honestly,
the
from what
chemistry
I'm
wasn't there.
thinking, Sai, you know what I'm thinking,
Yeah,
Sai.
yeah.
This is what happened, right? So when they first started off, Zendaya was chilling, like MJ. Is she MJ? She not MJ. We don't know. She's just chilling in the background, and then suddenly she starts appearing in all these blockbuster movies like Dune and stuff. And then on the last Spider-Man, she comes in and is like, you know what? I'm more important now. I need a higher paycheck. I need more screen time. And then after that, Ned is like, hey, if you want that, I want that too. We in this together.
I'm also,
We all
used
start
to
off
sound
together.
like,
And then I think that's how they got implemented to the script so much.
Yeah, but like the too much of things were forced, especially the humor was forced there.
There
But
was a lot of forced humor.
remember the old Spider-Mans, like they didn't really need to like force like chemistry and stuff. Like
The
with James
actors just had
Franco
it.
and Willem Dafoe, I really thought they were father and son in real life.
Are they not
when I
father
watched
and
the
son?
movie. No, they're not.
Seriously, no, don't lie. Where's my phone? I Google this now.
But you see, like, but also,
Unfortunately, no.
but like even in the old movies, you remember what an integral part Harry had throughout Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, even before 3, where he became like the Hobgoblin.
Yeah, yeah.
Like in Spider-Man 1, he was like dating MJ, and then they had like that thing going on, and he dated MJ because he knew his father, Norman Osborn, was more proud of Peter, and then he got jealous, so then he went after MJ. And then in Spider-Man 2, he funded Otto, and Spider-Man 3 became Hobgoblin. Like he had such an integral role, and it wasn't forced, and chemistry was there. And now like Ned, he kind of that comic relief in Spider-Man 1 and 2, and now 3, he's like, what is he now? Like he's like Spider-Man's second in charge all of a sudden.
He's just a dude with a cape.
Yeah. And like Zendaya wasn't even there for most of the other Spider-Man movies, and now all of a sudden she gets as much screen time as
Spider-Man.
what's going on?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. I'm telling you, it's because she became such a huge star in between those movies that the last one she wanted to be
I
like
think she
the
just
thing.
probably the demand thing that actually makes a lot of sense. Like the demand for
Yeah.
Yeah.
more exposure. Like,
Because that's how actors are. Like once they reach a certain level, they feel like they have like obligation to have this amount of screen time. Just like Toby just walked up and said, "No, I don't like this script. Give me 30 minutes and I'll come back."
yeah. But then Andrew
Yeah.
was like, okay, if he's getting 30 minutes now, I need it.
You know, Andrew just like, "Oh, you choosing me? Oh, I'm not the werewolf though. You know that."
So
Andrew was happy
remember
to
those
be
meme
there.
videos.
He was just happy to
Andrew
be
was
there.
happy to be there.
And then Willem Dafoe is just like, I want to do my own stunt, Spider-Man.
The only way I'm coming back.
There's no way I'm coming back.
The only way I'm coming back is if I back my kneecaps and say,
Put them strings on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
those must have been super
Brad-
happy to do stunts though. Like
Yeah.
compared from those days into their own days, it must have been so much more better for them.
They do less stunts now because of CGI though.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They even said that, bro.
Yeah, whose turn is it next?
Bradley, it's your turn to talk about Ned and Zendaya. You told us some of it.
Oh, yes. I was talking about Zendaya. Yeah, so I don't like her. I like her as an actress because as a person, because she seems like a chill person. Like I've seen interviews and stuff. She's obviously dedicated to the role, but obviously they never do anything with her. Like in the first movie, she was like just some kid in the background in class. Then in the second movie, she's taking pictures of pigeons and stuff. And now in this movie, oh, she's like this super amazing, talented person that can tell everyone what to do and press a button magically. Yeah, but I must say though, I actually like her more than Toby's one, because in Toby's one, Kirsten Dunst, I think her name is, she didn't do anything besides die and scream. She died, she screamed, or being depressed. So like,
But what me and Saii are saying is, but she had so much chemistry with Toby.
she did have chemistry with Toby, that's true, but like that was the only thing she had. Like besides that, like you take out the chemistry, as a character, she didn't do much. Like she was just like she's a plot device. Whereas in this one, she actually did something. Even though she is a plot device, they tried to do something with it. They tried to make her a character, not just like a person or background character. So I like that. As for Ned, Ned is very confused because like he started off just like this his best friend. Then he discovered Spider-Man. Then he became super smart and he's editing Tony Stark's suit. He was adding his own upgrades and modifications. And I was like, you're still in high school, right? Why are you not working in Stark Industries? Look what the hell, Ned. And now in this movie, instead of having like the brain mentality of Tony Stark, he also has the power of Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange and Tony Stark combined into one person. That's a bit OP if you ask me.
Yeah, no, I get you.
So that's a bit intense, but that's what I think of them. Like, I don't hate them, but in this movie, they're definitely too forced and too cringy. They needed to bring down the hype. Like, even when they were reacting to the trailer, they were overhyping the trailer too much.
Like parts that we don't even know that they showed us, that wasn't even part of the movie there.
Yeah, there's so many scenes in the trailer that didn't even exist in the movie.
So what did you think about the dialogue then, Bradley?
The dialogue with both of them.
Just the dialogue, like in with both of them, and then just like in general.
The dialogue really, it was very hollow. Like they said things like people should say, but they said things like in terms of the script where you didn't feel emotions. You just felt like, oh, this is supposed to be Peter's friend, Peter's girlfriend, kind of. You know, it didn't feel real. It wasn't a connection, even though they were characters. Like you felt they were someone in the movie. You can't just say look at Ned and be like, oh, he was no one, because he did do something, and MJ also did something. But in terms of dialogue, they just didn't do anything. So they did stuff visually, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so the dialogue was bad. It was just cringy. It was bad, yeah.
I get you.
But it's weird though, because the dialogue wasn't bad everywhere else. It was just theirs. Because it's almost like it was written the day before they started filming.
Could have been actually.
Because like if you think about it, the scenes are like so like out of the movie. It could have been filmed any other time, even after the movie was completed, and just added into the movie. Because half the time they're like in another house, so they got no relation to what's happening or like Spider-Man or anything. Like what I'm trying to say is like they didn't have originally Andrew and Toby in the movie, and they just decided to add that scene when they're all in his grandma's house, and they just brought them in there, and then they re-shot the last scene, and that was the movie.
Done.
That's what I feel.
It was a bit forced on that end.
Let's talk about the Molina. Talk about Dr. Ock.
Okay, you start us off, Brad.
Alright, I'll start first, okay. So, the power of the sun
Alfred Molina.
in the palm of his hands. It was so nice to see him back again. I actually didn't notice too much CGI on his face, so that's nice. They actually did it quite well. I don't know what they did. They made him younger. I couldn't see exactly. You could kind of see that something was wrong with his face, but it wasn't like out there. But him as a character, it was cool to see him because he was basically the first villain they showed. I think it was him first on the bridge. So he shows up on the bridge. He's just tossing cards around. He's like, "Where's my machine?" And then we don't know where's his machine. And then he sees Spider-Man. He thinks he's Peter Parker. I don't know how, because this man is like small and skinny. He's not wearing the same outfit. And then I like that scene where he brings his like tentacles, and then Spider-Man opens his ones, and he's like, "Oh, we got competition." It'd be funny if he said, "We got competition, Rosie."
Oh wow, that was a bit something.
Rosie, I hate this boy. Yeah, so I liked him in the movie. He was cool. He had a lot of screen time, I must say. He was like there throughout most of it. He was like a sidekick, basically. I liked the scene where they actually fixed him, where Peter Parker makes a little chocolate chip and puts it in his neck.
That was a cool scene.
That was a cool scene. Like, obviously, nobody thought that he died, obviously, when he was just hanging there. And then he just came back. He's like, oh my god, Peter, my boy, it's so nice to see you again. That was a very nice moment. I liked it because it kind of like felt like they brought him back to destroy his character because he died a hero. And now they just brought him back as a villain, and then they brought him back and they made him good again. So we got to see what would happen if Dr. Ock was actually good instead of just dying.
So yeah, that's the parts that get me. Like, where did they get these villains from? Like, at what point in the story? Because they obviously got Electro like fairly late into the
His
movie.
blueness, his smurfness, yeah.
Yeah, because he doesn't have that weird haircut and glasses and stuff. And then with like Willem Dafoe, where did they get him from? Did they get him like as soon as he became Goblin?
They never explained that. They only explained it for Doc Ock when he was grabbing Peter's throat and he was squeezing it. That was before Toby did the talk no jutsu on him, and then he got teleported.
Naruto.
Which doesn't make sense though, because then did he say where's my machine because he got teleported somewhere else? So does that mean he was there a few days before? No, Rosie's already dead.
Dead at the time.
Yeah, because he already has his
Like
tentacles.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so she did.
Because
So-
the chip was already fried.
I think that was his absolute point because when she died, that's when he became evil. That's when
So-
the arms got on.
So then is it safe
That's
to say
when
they
the
got the villains at their
arms-
prime?
Yeah, actually, I would say that their prime, huh?
Say that. Okay.
I'd
Was
say
it
that.
just before they died?
Yeah, but they were at their prime when they did die. Like, it's not like they were weak or anything.
Like when he was trying to drown the sun, I mean.
That was before that. That's when he had the upper hand on Spider-Man.
Because like with Doc Ock, he did become a hero at the end again
Exactly.
in Spider-Man 2.
Mhm.
So at the end of Spider-Man 2, he died. Well, he didn't. Spider-Man didn't kill him. Remember what happened? He said no, he'll go down with the thing or whatever, and then he chose to die.
Yeah.
So
Okay, what did you think of Doc Ock, Nadii?
Like Doc Ock, I thought he was excellent, man. I thought he was like the main, like I thought it was gonna be like a Doc Ock movie. I thought he was gonna be like the main.
He's the main guy.
Yeah, like he's the main
The
guy.
dude, yeah.
Then like you said, like like it was like a what if scenario if they made him good or whatever. And then yeah, I just thought that was super cool.
Were you expecting him to be evil though throughout the movie?
I was actually expecting him to be evil because I was like, this guy's inhibitor chips bust and this guy is off his rocker. We know he's like not, he can't be normal.
Yeah.
Because
He's rusted up, yeah.
he's rusted up, yeah. And then they started fixing everyone, and I actually thought that was a really cool scene when all the villains were in his house, and then they were all like, hey, we can make this right. And then
Okay.
they were
Okay.
posted the line.
Yeah, he did. Before we go on, I just have to say something. Now that we mentioned, now we're at this topic where everyone is getting fixed. I just have to say this before I forget it. Sandman wanted to get fixed, right? Tell me, why couldn't Sandman just tell the peeps, can you guys make a serum to cure my daughter of a illness, please? you guys fix this crazy man in tentacles. You guys fix this insane man, a green goblin. Can you make a serum to clean my daughter of a disease? Like, why didn't they do that?
I mean, they could have.
They could have, but
such high-tech stuff there.
instead, like, don't worry, we'll make you human again so you can watch your daughter die.
They literally solve people's problems like
Seem
almost
logical.
instantly, bruh.
Exactly. Tell me they couldn't make a serum for his daughter. Come on, guys. The guy is
Such
suffering.
high-tech stuff there.
Maybe that's the reason he turned on everyone. He's like, you know what? This is bullshit. You guys ain't making shit for me.
Like with but his whole motive was that he wanted to go back and see his daughter. He didn't really care about like fighting. He wasn't a good guy. He wasn't a bad guy. He was kind of in between. Like, hey, I'm gonna go with whatever's going on. you know, like, hey, okay, we all at Tom Holland's house. We're gonna get cured. Okay, I'll go along with that. Then the villains bust out. Then he's like, okay, the villains bust out. I'm busting out too. So he was like,
I want some of that.
Didn't have a motive.
Yeah, he didn't. Like, oh, you fixed me. Like, I fixed you. Now go back and watch your daughter die.
Fair enough.
Hey, that's sad. It'd been even interesting if Green Goblin looked at Sandman and said, you know what, I can create a cure for your daughter. Join me and defeat Spider-Man. That would have made more sense.
That is true.
Maybe it's like a deleted scene.
We'll have to hope for the best. Like,
We'll have to buy the Blu-ray. Buy the Blu-ray and watch it all together again.
yeah. What did you think, Sai?
Yes, what do you think?
Doc Ock. One of my favorite villains from the older franchises. He definitely did have impactful role on this movie, and even by the trailer, I feel that he lived up to my expectations because I always saw him as a good person. He was just twisted in the sense that obviously he lost Rosie, he couldn't accomplish one of his dreams. I guess that just affected how he saw his life, and then obviously the tentacles started controlling him, and then after that, so I felt like him getting cured and him becoming a good guy was like how he was initially supposed to be built, and then you get to see more of him like on another side. Especially like when the end when he came back to save them, which was like even though the loss of one of his arms, which is the machine that he created, to see him sacrificing that to save two Spider-Man, it was very iconic for me, and I felt like it was nice to see Doc Ock like that. Like it's not, we don't want to be remembered by how he was just trying to pull off the city like in the second movie. He had
But what he
further
became.
purpose. Yeah, he had further purpose other than that. Like, so
Okay.
I enjoyed him as a character.
He was a good character, yeah, for sure. So basically, we all liked him in the movie. He didn't have any cringe, no cringe. He felt like he came straight out of the universe. He felt like the same character, like his dialogue and stuff.
He was
Okay.
just a continuation.
Let's talk about the other villain that we all care about. Let's talk about the foe. Right, you know how much Nadii has sacrificed to get to this moment. He waited for like 20 minutes. Alright, let's Nadii start off with this one.
I'll say last. I'll go last.
No,
You sure?
you can go
I want to hear everyone's thoughts.
Alright. Sai,
Yeah,
what did you think of William Dafoe, the Green Goblin? Norman Osborn.
No,
That's all his aliases.
Defoe. To me, Defoe
The
was
Drip
literally the most pinnacle character of this movie. He was, I don't know, it was other than the fact that he was coming back, it was just like, he just took Goblin to like, well not even Goblin, I would just say like Norman into a whole other perspective. Like,
True.
He was one of the most better performing actors. I would probably say he was like one of the best actors in that movie, despite his age and other issues. The man literally
Is he not
played
the
his
oldest? I
part
think
to
he's
the
the oldest villain, isn't he?
I think,
He is the oldest.
I
one.
think he's the oldest
True.
villain, yeah.
Yeah, he is. But he played his role like so well. Like he even showed up like despite his age, he still can play the character after all this.
Do his own
And
stunts, man.
and like I was saying, like the other villains, like they had their own personal ideas, like whatever they wanted to resolve. Like they didn't have so much of plot. But like when it came to Defoe, he had like a personal agenda, and I guess that was the fuel. Like that was the fuel for him to carry on going over the edge, like getting closer and closer. Like others were just like Electro was like, oh, everyone forgot about me, about my birthday. I'll become a bad guy. And Lizard
It
was
does
like,
change a
"Oh,
man."
I lost my arm. Lizard was like, I lost my arm, so I'm gonna just tell everyone to do this now.
He should have just chopped everyone's arms off.
He had like a personal agenda. He had specifically, and what was even better was he was the one that made Tom Holland into a man. If you think about it,
That's true.
That is true.
He's basically the
That is
Tony
true.
Stark of the villains.
he was the trigger for him Like,
Yeah.
like even his dialogue, he was like, like you're struggling to have everything you want in this world, but you don't have the power to take it. Meaning that he was the one that had the power, but didn't have everything. But then he took away Tom Holland's everything and gave him the power.
Yeah,
It
like
was such a
poetry.
nice. It was such a
Rosie,
nice,
I love this boy.
It was such a nice. It was so good to see him back on the screen, and he performed the role like excellently. Like I would say, he was probably the best actor from the whole. Like even though I like Toby and Andrew, but I still say he takes it.
I like that
But
one, Sai.
I-
That was a good one. You rounded up quite nice. That was like poetry, Sai.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
Day
he
by
was-
day,
see,
he
for me,
gazed
bro,
upon
I
her.
loved him. He sighed. Day by day, he sighed with passion.
Dead by daylight, down on you today.
It was not a paid sponsor.
That takes us to a sponsor. Thank you for sponsoring.
This is not a paid sponsorship.
Best seamless transition ever. All right, I'll talk about.
Yeah, I loved him. You could tell.
I'll talk about my friend Defoe. William the friend Defoe. William the
Tell us what you
drip.
thought about his role in Aquaman.
Alright, so first off in Aquaman he was underused. I wanted him to be like Aquaman's like personal assistant, like Batman's Alfred. I wanted him there on the side. I'll bring around the sharks. Sir. Like somebody cool like that.
Putting everyone underwater. They
I don't understand why they even put him in the movie when they cut him out so badly. Like he didn't even exist in that universe. I think like 2 scenes he was in. Maybe they just thought like maybe he just wanted to be in the movie because he thought he'd get to go underwater and swim with the fishes or something like that. Like I only do it if you don't give me oxygen tank.
All of us thought he was gonna be. All of us thought he was gonna be a traitor in that movie too. But just stuck to his good guy role there.
Because he got that face. He should be the Joker, man. He's the perfect Joker.
Yeah. No, but that movie, you literally thought that he was gonna turn on Aquaman there.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
My mom was saying the same thing. Like when that King Om guy captured him or whatever.
King
and he gives
Om.
that King Om guy he gives him like some Aquaman's brother. He gives him like some smile, and then I was just thinking, oh my God, mom, he's gonna betray Aquaman. It's done. And then I was like, he's like the good guy the whole time, and he doesn't do any treacherous shit. And I was like, nah, this guy can't play a good guy.
Okay, guys, get back on topic. To talk about Spider-Man.
Oh, sorry.
Alright. So William Dafoe, obviously, he had to be in this movie because he was the main villain. He was the guy. He was like the leader of the Sinister Seven. No, it's the 6. A Sinister 5 because only have 5 people. I guess he was the leader of the Sinister 6, including the tree. So yeah, I really enjoyed him in this movie. He was almost like basically everything you wanted to see from the old movie, from the first Spider-Man movie, like all the extended bits. Because once he turned evil, he really never have a lot of screen time. He was just like, like coming into the screen, throwing a pumpkin bomb, blowing everyone up and leaving. Like you never actually see. You never see like his evil side, like the way he thinks.
Point of it is to get rid of him there.
Yeah. So like we never even see like how he makes the pumpkin bombs, like how he designs them or anything. At least in this one, you could actually see like he was some sort of scientist himself. He was actually like designing stuff with Tom Holland, like showing him how to make the chip for Octavius and stuff. So that was cool. And then obviously that one scene when his acting is so good, you can just hear it in his voice, his tone of voice when he turns into the goblin, and then like Tom Holland is just freezing up, and there you can hear Spidey senses going wild, like what the hell is going on? Everything was fine a second ago. And he gave that amazing speech, like Sai said. He took away Spider-Man's responsibilities and gave him more responsibilities. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. His performance is just too good. He was made to play this character. He is like the perfect Tony Stark. So yeah, that's what I thought of him. No, like how Tony, like Robert Downey Jr. was born to play Iron Man. Like when I look at Green Goblin, like I only see Defoe. Even if it's not him, I just can hear his voice. And that scene when he was fighting Spider-Man, breaking him through the floors, and you can actually see, you could see it was actually Willem Dafoe because he was doing his own stunts. You could see his face, and he was getting punched, and he was smiling, and I was like, to get this man a Joker outfit. That was beautiful. Yeah, so I enjoyed him. I'm gonna give Willem Dafoe a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Nadii, now it's your turn. Your moment has arrived. You waited
This is my
15 years for
moment.
this.
You don't know how much I sacrificed.
You know how much he sacrificed.
You don't know, man. Like, the only reason I would give why I didn't give the movie a 10 initially was because of, like, you know, like, dialogue was a bit choppy and stuff at times. A lot of the time, it really wasn't that the humor wasn't always on point. But for Defoe, I raised the movie to a 9. I was considering so bad. Should it be a 10? It should be a 10. But I just couldn't, not even for Defoe, but
Not even for the memes, Dad. He said I am something of a scientist myself. Come on.
Bradley, he said the line.
He said
the line.
you have to give it 1 point. Give it a 10.
I give it a 9.5 max.
Alright.
Yeah, but honestly, like Defoe in the movie, I think like you guys said, he was just meant for the role, man. Like,
For
like
sure.
at first, you know, when he first came to that universe and he was like confused, and then you know, because obviously Tom Holland Spider-Man didn't know what type of relationship Goblin had with Peter in his universe, so he didn't want to like, attack him.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't trying to be hostile. He was trying to be a friend and stuff, and then that turning point when you realize, you know, he was like Goblin was there the whole time. It wasn't actually Norman, and like they showed the struggle between Norman and Defoe, and they like fleshed it out so well.
They did.
And, yeah, and
I was sad when he broke his mask though. I was like, man. Why did he break his mask?
I was also sad. And then like, yeah, I just thought that was like they fleshed it out so well, and like, you know, just like seeing like Defoe on screen again, like from Spider-Man 1, and you're like, just like, how is he gonna be more? You know, in Spider-Man 1, when Aunt May was praying, and then he formed
Yeah.
Finish
Hello,
it.
mate. Yeah.
and then you're like, how is he gonna top that?
Hey,
And
she topped
everything
it,
he
bro.
did in this movie was just like, he made it. It was like a new spin on like Goblin, and it was like so terrifying. I was like, nah, this guy killed it. Yeah.
It was weird because in the first movie, like when he was talking to Spider-Man before he died, obviously, and telling him like he didn't know what he was doing, you kind of felt it was like an act, right? But now if you think about it, it was actually the Goblin using Norman as a device to stop Spider-Man from killing him. So it wasn't an act, basically. He actually has like a split personality.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
pretty
that is
cool.
true.
It's like deepening his lore.
Yeah, he is pretty integral in like. I think he's like part of the Dark Avengers.
Is he?
Yeah. Okay, I think
The Dark Avengers? Are those the people from the Eternals?
no, they're not the Eternal.
Who the Eternal people are?
Okay, yeah, but
Internals.
the internals.
The internship.
Internals.
Alright, back to Defoe. Defoe drip, yeah, Nadi, continue.
But overall, I think like Defoe, he played a really good villain, and I think it was cool that they made they made him like the main basically. 'Cause,
Pulling the
you know,
strings.
He gave Tom Holland all his character development basically,
Yes.
and yeah, I thought that was cool. But like what I wanted to see was, I thought it would be cool if, you know, Toby and Defoe had like a scene, like, you know what scene was cool? You know when Doc Ock sees Tobey Maguire,
Yeah.
and then he says, "Hey, how you doing?"
Good to
and then
see
they're
you.
like,
Peter,
"Oh,
my boy.
yeah, good to see you." Yeah, I thought that was.
That made me smile for sure.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
that's
it
cool.
was
So I wanted Toby and like Willem Dafoe to have a moment like that too. I thought that would have been cool.
They never even talk, right? If I'm not mistaken. They never even. Did they even look at each other?
Like when he got
Stabbed
killed,
him.
like when Defoe killed him, then he was like, oh, that was it.
But he never even looked at
Yeah.
Defoe. He didn't even like, you shit. He didn't say nothing.
Yeah,
he
that
did.
was kind of weird.
Maybe he got some beef on set. Toby and everyone else.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised actually.
He's like, I want everyone else to be CGI, alright? No one gonna touch me. No one touch me.
like that. Huh?
I don't know, maybe. Like every time the camera looks at him, he's like, nee, 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 nee. Yeah. Okay, so Nadi, you gave Defoe a 10 out of 10 for being in the movie.
Yeah, no, 9.
No, I mean the movie 9, but Defoe himself a 10 out of 10 as a character.
Nah, the fool is like 11.
11 out of 10. Alright. They should put him in Stranger Things because he's the 11. What? Stranger Things, Multitude of Madness. That's
Talk about different movies.
different franchise. Alright, let's just round up this video and talk about the main two stars. Let us both talk about at the same time Andrew and Toby. Saii started with Defoe, so Nadii, who you want to start?
Okay, I'll start with them.
Alright, Andrew and Toby.
Okay, so for Andrew and Toby, obviously I thought it was super cool to see them on screen again and reprising their role as Spider-Man. I remember when they first opened the portal and it's like, you know, we're looking for Peter, and then you see the silhouette and then he starts running towards the portal and I was like, holy shit, is that the lizard dude? Lizard dude. This is like dark. And then,
Yeah, it is dark.
And then he like jumps through it and like, no, that's Andrew, and like the people were going crazy. And like as Andrew came and they were talking to Andrew, and then as they opened the next portal and they were like, find Peter, the crowd like started. It was a full cinema. The crowd started chanting, Toby.
They started
Toby.
chanting. Oh my god.
They started chanting, and then Toby comes through and it's so crazy. And then he's through, and then they both like, you know, they go to Peter obviously after Aunt May died, and then they try to comfort him. They tell him, no, we know what it's like, blah blah blah, to get his ball rolling again, to get him on board with the Spider-Man program. And then yeah, I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool that they did that. And then yeah, that one scene at the end, right at the end, where Andrew catches Mary Jane. I thought that was a really cool scene.
That was a deep one. I was like crying.
A deep one. I thought that was like one of the coolest scenes for me.
But what was the scene again? I didn't hear that. My audio.
Do you remember at the end when Mary Jane was falling off that building and then Tom jumps for her?
Yeah,
and then Green Goblin hits him, and then Andrew says, oh, then he jumps, and then he gets her, and then they're on the ground, and then Nadii says, no, he asks, are you okay? And she says yes. Then she says, asks him, are you okay? And then he just cries. I was like, yo, that's a deep one. But yeah, I thought they were both really good. Andrew, I thought he was actually like better than I expected him to be, and I hope Andrew actually gets another movie. They should do him justice, give him another one. I'd like to see him again as Spider-Man. And yeah, Toby is just Toby. He killed it. Was like living back in the past, man. It was like 2004 all over again. Seeing Toby on screen, it was just crazy, man. But yeah, man, that was my thoughts on them. I thought they were both great. They both killed it.
Alright, so personally, all personal. You don't have to agree with me.
Personal, yes.
But
Personally, I agree with you.
to just talk about Toby and Andrew in general, it was good to see them back. Respect to the movie for actually bringing those back and satisfying our
Full respect.
demands.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted them to do that, and they did it. The only, I wouldn't say problem or like issue, it was just like I felt the way they introduced them was a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, true.
Why
Via the auntie. The auntie's house.
the auntie?
Yeah, like no, like not only that, like not way it was situated, it's like how they did it. Like Ned was like, just fight Peter, and then those just start popping out one by one. Like I felt like the way they should have appeared in the universe itself is like could have been like in a more dramatic or in action way, like maybe like
like
someone.
in the last fight.
Yeah.
No,
maybe
no.
Like, yeah, maybe
It
like,
shouldn't have been the last fight because then we wouldn't have had enough screen time. It should have been when
No,
Norman
I mean
Norman
like a
kills
pre-fight
Aunt
maybe.
May. It should have been
Yeah,
like
and then-
in that building, you know?
or something like maybe they do something to change the course of things that happened, like so it would have been like maybe they brought them in like at separate times and then they would have impacted the actual story, but like the way they brought them in were like more like it was so casual, like you know, like here's your two favorite actors, we're just bringing them in from this person's house. And
But
then
like
they were
in terms of the movie, they were in the world like a few days before they were in that
we
house.
just never knew of it.
We never knew they were there. So
And then they were like Andrew
what
Goofy.
the hell? They were just roaming the
That
streets,
was
watching
that
shit
was
blow
some
up
humor.
and looking at the screen.
And, so then how I linked this movie was close to like the Spideyverse movie, like when they were just entering from different universes and like
Oh yeah.
like how like Toby like kind of portrayed like the older Spider-Man. He was like, I saw the news and then that's how I knew it to come where like he
Oh,
already
yeah.
knew what I was cutting and
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
just trying
yeah.
to decipher the whole multiverse theory and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But them themselves as the actors and Spider-Man, it was very nice to see them on screen. They satisfied our hype and like I said, they all shared the same pain when they were introduced in that time when the Aunt May just died.
Yeah,
So
ish.
they could empathize with that scene and they could try and bring him up to fighting again. That scene where they were all together on the scaffolding was a little bit cringe for me.
Was
I
it?
feel like they didn't get the dialogue right.
Dialogue
Like-
was a bit shaky.
It wasn't too bad,
Yeah,
but
it
it was.
wasn't-
Yeah,
It was cool.
I felt
though.
like I felt like they didn't have enough chemistry. Like the way they put them together and like their scenes were very. I don't know. It wasn't there.
I did
they were
like
trying
when
to do it, but-
Toby was like, "Who's the Avengers?"
Yeah, that was cool. They were like, "You want a bag?"
Okay, but who is the
He was
Avenger?
like, oh, it's
great.
okay, guys. I was in the Avengers. Like, that's great. What
Who
is the
the
Avengers?
Yeah, that was funny. I like that.
That was funny. Yeah, that was funny.
Which was the cringe
Especially,
part
like, the
then,
combo
huh?
plays that they hit. That was very nice. You know, the parts where they were
Like,
talking
the
about like
chemistry.
when the web blood, and then it was like
Awkward.
It was kind of
like
funny
Venom's
though,
webbing
because you
goes
always
over
like
the-
figured like how does Toby have
Yeah.
like organic and
yeah. And then the scenes where they were working together on the cures were cool because you just see like all of them. They all share that trait, like where they're like super smart and like expendable and all of that. I like the plays that they were eating like towards the ending, like they were webbing off each other and jumping off each other and stuff.
that was cool. Yeah,
was
like
kinda
a whole
cool, and
combo. Felt like the Ninja
uh,
Turtle.
Yeah, the whole like I like the fact that they did incorporate like Spider-Man was like a lone character. He never worked with anyone, so he was teamwork wise it was very bad. And then
Yeah.
they had one standpoint and then they all came back together and then everything just clicked like eventually. That was cool.
That was cool.
Obviously, the Toby reuniting with Alfred Molina was also very iconic. Like that was something also was very nice to see. Like, yeah, it was like how much you've grown and how you doing. He was like, eat the classic line. I'm trying
Try
to
to
be
be
better.
better.
That was classic. That was classic. And it was also nice to see that he was the one to stop Tom from killing the foe because he killed Aunt May. Like he was the one to stop that whole cycle. Like it was kind of like how pain, Brad. Pain leads to more pain, and hate leads to more hate. So I'm kind of happy that he was the one to break that cycle because he was like, I've been through the same boat as you. I killed my
yes,
uncle
yes,
Ben's
yes.
killer, and I didn't feel anything after. He said I didn't feel any better. I didn't feel any sad. It was just like I only regret that I was the one to kill him. Like, so he was
Yeah.
the one to break the cycle, and then he stopped. And obviously, it was so brutal to him because he couldn't beat Toby there. Toby just flung that glider once, and he was like, he was like, you weak.
That was sad.
And then the foe just stabbed him, which was very sad. I thought he was gonna die there too.
Yeah, I also thought he was gonna die.
It's so stupid.
That would have been very
Died
sad.
there. I would've been
No, actually, I felt that would have been nice because that would have ended his legacy.
We don't want to let any legacy die. One
Yeah,
back
I
for the
know, but like-
memes.
But then it eventually ended up being very nice because he was just injured very badly. And he was like, when they were holding each other, he was like, you must be in a lot of pain right now. He was like, yeah.
You should have just said, "I've been stabbed." The foe.
So that was
You should have said that. I would have died if you said that.
My goodness.
Alright.
But he just ultimately proved
Yeah.
that he was better than the other two. In all
True,
scenes, yeah.
true. He was like the main pillar of hope.
He was literally just booting all the old, bro. Like, in my opinion. The glider fight with Tom Holland, this one couldn't beat him.
That was sad though. Like I didn't think Tom Holland would reach that level where he's not kill him, you know?
That's why I said it was nice that he was the one to stop it from.
I don't understand though, because even when Toby stopped him, he was still trying to push it down and kill Toby. Like, what the hell? Like, wouldn't you stop
Yeah.
and be like, oh shit, this is Peter Parker? But no, you're just like, I'ma push it more. And then he gave him that look, you know, he gave him that look him in the eye and he was like, nee, 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 nee. Then it stopped.
He's like, oh shit.
He's like, oh shit, this guy's serious. Bully Maguire.
Tell us, Bradley. What did you
My thoughts are okay. I'll keep it short and sweet. I love that they were in the movie. I actually didn't expect him to be in the movie. I tried my best to stay off YouTube to avoid spoilers. But like I knew they were in the movie, but I didn't want him to be in the movie. But then I wanted him to be in the movie. It was very mixed reaction. Like, like I didn't want to get disappointed. You know, like MJ is saying, like you just expect disappointment, so you'll never be disappointed. You know. So I went in like that, and then when I saw them, obviously it was nice. Even though they weren't shown in the best way, they just showed up at some grandma's house. It was nice to just see them and like have a calming moment, like where the movie is just chill instead of being super intense. Because I feel like if it was super intense, we wouldn't have time to appreciate them being there as their characters instead of them being there as Spider-Man. So we got to appreciate the character first, and then we got the Spider-Man nonsense and business and sadness and sorrows. So that was nice. The dialogue was perfect because I think like the way they were speaking to each other and not to each other, but still like the way they were speaking in general, it felt like they came straight out of their universe. Where like Andrew is like a quick talking, what's going on kind of guy, and then Toby just walks in like, oh, what's going on? I don't know what's happening. I don't just announce that I'm Spider-Man to everyone. You know, like that quiet kind of timid, wise guy. I really liked that. That was cool. So like it felt like they grew as characters even after the movies kind of stopped, basically. Like how Toby was talking about him and MJ, and how Andrew was still coping with the loss of Gwen. That was cool. And then having all three of them on the screen was pretty fun, especially when Ned says Peter and they all just look up and they're like, yeah, that would happen if there were three Peters in the room, you know? It's like, it felt like it was written by a fan, basically. But it wasn't too much of fan service. It felt like it fit in the movie. Yeah, I mean, in terms of them being in the Spider-Man suits, I didn't really see a lot of that. There was a lot of action just flying around. Like, I wish I could just see Toby's suit, like, just properly, just standing still for a while. But we didn't get to see too much of that. It was just, like, a few short segments there. But the CGI wasn't too bad. It was quite cool. The angles were nice. The plays they were hitting off each other was cool. The ending was kind of sad, though. Because I kind of felt like, I feel like they should have just killed MJ and Ned off. So then she would have had like that end credit scene where he's just talking to the two Spider-Man and then they just fade into like existence. Like what happened in the Spider-Verse movie, you know, when he's just about to drop that guy in and he grabs him and he tells him about what he learned and stuff. You know, that emotional moment. Instead he's just like, okay, I'm going to go talk to my girlfriend. Now, bye guys, bye. And he's like, I'm in pain. And then it just disappear and I'm like, shit, alright. Because like basically the reason I went to this movie was for them. I don't know about you guys, because I wanted to see them and the villains. Like Tom Holland's villains are so bad that not one of them made it into this movie. Even the ones that exist, like the Birdman, what is that guy's name? Vulture. He didn't even have a cameo or anything. So yeah. So that's my take on it. But overall, I enjoyed it. It was nice to see them again. I want to see another Andrew movie for sure. Toby, I want to see him in something, but I don't want him to be like forced or anything. I want him to be like something like Logan, like Saii was saying.
I do think that he deserves. Andrew does deserve another movie. It's just that for Toby, I feel like a cameo would be sufficient. Like maybe a sufficient amount of screen time. Maybe not so much to be his own movie, but just to cooperate with, like, probably be like one of the leading factors in another character's movie.
But I want to see that Toby R-rating Spider-Man movie, Saii. I want to see it. And Venom must be there. And he must be that proper Venom that tears people in half.
Yeah, because they were literally stating that they had other villains that were better than, like he had an alien and stuff like that.
Yeah. That would be cool. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. Quite cool.
Speaking of Venom, what is up with Venom's cameo? Like at the end of the Venom movie.
That was very weird. I found
that was the saddest thing. I ever
They have
seen.
some role.
to Venom, and then Venom just looks between them like, yeah, that guy. I just want that guy. That's it. Like, there's no other backstory behind this.
So basically, what my understanding is, they brought him into the world to take him away. That's
To
what
take
basically
some
happened.
money out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that post-credit scene was sad, and then the second post-credit scene was just a trailer to Doctor Strange.
That's
That was
literally
just
what
very
it was.
confusing.
It literally was
It's
just
so
the
That was just very
stupid.
confusing. And
I didn't
my,
like that. I
my
didn't like
eyes.
that. Alright, guys, I think that went long enough now. We're talking about potential stuff. Let's close with conclusion. Anyone who has any final words to say?
movie was great. Please go watch it in cinemas if you get a chance.
Alright, thanks for the review, guys. I think this was a good one. What's our next review?
Great one. Let's review.
Uncharted.
Uncharted.
Yes, let's
Let's do it.
review
Let's do it.
Uncharted.
Let's do it.